The year is 391 CE and mob storms Alexandria's main library. Parchment and papyrus are tossed into the streets, set aflame by torch and brand. Smoke fills the sky above the harbor. Amidst the chaos, a group of priests flees to the temple of Serapis. They carry precious scrolls, ancient texts, volumes that hold forbidden's lore. Soon, however, tremors shake the ground, walls buckle, columns fall. Seconds later, towering waves engulf the city. Water surges into the temple, swallowing the priests and their sacred books. Beneath the waves, stone sinks, turning to sand, turning to myth. And yet some say a great library sleeps there still, drowned but not forgotten. Welcome to this channel. Beneath the waves of Alexandria's harbor lies a secret too ancient to be spoken. Some say a great library sleeps there, drowned but not forgotten. What if the greatest knowledge of the ancient world didn't burn? What if it sank? 391 CE Alexandria, Egypt, the 2nd century of Roman rule. Under the reign of Caesar Augustus, Alexandria flourishes as the center of the known world. Its royal quarter is filled with lavish palaces, grand temples, and gardens that stretch to the sea. The capital of the Ptolemaic kingdom, Alexandria boasts the largest artificial harbor in the Mediterranean. Here, trade routes converge from Greece and Rome to India and Arabia. Scholars and philosophers flock to the city, drawn by its famed library. Founded 2 centuries earlier by Ptolemy I, the library aims to house every book in the world. It grows into an intellectual center where scholars can study, share ideas, and collaborate. Sometime during the 3rd century BCE, another library is established across town at the Temple of Serapis. Built by Ptolemy IV, the temple serves as a sanctuary to both Egyptians and Greeks. Inside, a vast collection of medical texts are cataloged and studied. Outside, a school teaches theology and philosophy, attracting students from all over the Hellenistic world. The complex consists of a series of courtyards connected by covered walkways. Shrines to various gods line the paths along with pools, gardens, and fountains. At the center stands the temple's most sacred site, the so-called Serapeum. Here, visitors can commune with the god Serapis, the Egyptian Osiris, depicted with the head of a bull and a human body. Then comes the earthquake, the deadliest in recorded history, registering a magnitude of 7.2 to 7.4 on the Richter scale. Minutes later, a tsunami strikes, carrying with it untold destruction and death. By historical record, entire districts vanish beneath the sea, including many of Alexandria's greatest libraries and temples. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood film, it's history. However, researchers are divided on how much Alexandria suffered from the disaster. While some claim the damage was catastrophic, others argue that evidence of the quake is exaggerated. In 1998, French underwater archaeologist Frank Godiot and his team embarked on an ambitious mission to discover the submerged remains of Alexandria. Supported by the Egyptian Department of Antiquities, Godiot set up headquarters on a decommissioned oil tanker, converted into a floating research vessel complete with laboratories, offices, and living quarters for the crew. The following year, their hard work paid off. Godiot's team discovered the remains of a small island less than 60 feet below the surface. Over the next few years, they uncovered colossal stone structures and a wide range of artifacts. Among the finds were 26-foot-tall Sphinx statues, remnants of an unknown temple, and countless pieces of broken sculpture. As news of the discovery spread, more and more groups descended upon the harbor, each seeking their own piece of the sunken city. Since then, several structures have been identified, many bearing witness to Alexandria's rich history. Among the most notable are the remains of Cleopatra's last palace, part of Caesar's palace, the Lighthouse of Pharos, one of the ancient world's 7 wonders, and a harbor mole nearly 2 miles long. Despite these breakthroughs, only about 1% of the harbor area has been explored. With so little uncovered, archaeologists are eager to venture deeper, hoping to find tangible proof of the legendary library. But it won't be easy. Many of the ruins lie in areas where silt and debris have accumulated, making them extremely difficult to locate. Others are simply beyond reach. Deep within the murky depths, progress is slow and frustrating. Underwater visibility averages no more than 3 feet. Silt often obscures the view entirely. Archaeologists must rely on technology like sonar and submersibles to map and explore the seabed. Because of these challenges, much of the research has been conducted by a handful of experts. Frank Goddio and his team alone have logged thousands of hours exploring the submerged city. One of the most perplexing aspects of the site is the sheer volume of debris. Looters have ransacked many of the submerged sites, stealing artifacts and scattering them across the seabed. Meanwhile, erosion caused by silt and the force of the tides continue to claim more ruins. Every year, precious artifacts are lost forever. As the race to uncover the lost library heats up, archaeologists face an uphill battle. Their search is complicated by the threat of urban development, the murky waters, and looters always searching for the next big score. And yet they persist, driven by the hope of unearthing something truly special. Could scrolls have survived the collapse? The answer, according to historians, is almost certainly yes. For example, the Dead Sea Scrolls offer us a glimpse into what might have become of Alexandria's writings. Discovered between 1947 and 1956 in a series of caves near the Israeli desert, these ancient texts date back to the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE. More than 900 manuscripts were eventually found, comprising nearly 15,000 fragments. Among the most significant discoveries were biblical scrolls dating back 2,000 years. Before the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest manuscript of any biblical book was the Codex Vaticanus, which dated back to the 4th century CE. The newly discovered scrolls were a revelation, challenging long-held assumptions about the preservation of ancient texts. They also provided valuable insight into the historical context of the Bible. The writings were produced by a Jewish sect known as the Essenes who lived in the caves of Qumran. These individuals created their own settlement near the Dead Sea where they withdrew from society and wrote extensively about their interpretation of Jewish law and prophecy. Many of the texts were copied and recopied over the years, ensuring their survival for centuries. In fact, the scrolls are surprisingly well preserved despite their age. When first discovered, they were brittle and crumbling, but experts were able to stabilize the fragile fragments through painstaking cleaning and repair techniques. Today, the scrolls are housed in a climate-controlled facility, protected from the elements and potential threats. Some historians believe that similar practices may have been used in Alexandria to safeguard important documents and that some scrolls could still be hiding in submerged chambers. It's here that legend and reality collide. History tells us that several ancient libraries were destroyed in the Great Flood, along with dozens of palaces, temples, and other structures. What if some of these buildings contain secret chambers filled with ancient texts? What if the scrolls managed to survive the quake and the tsunami, trapped in a tomb beneath the sea? The idea is far-fetched, yet not without merit. After all, the Dead Sea Scrolls demonstrate that members of early Jewish sects actively sought to preserve their writings in remote locations. Could something similar have occurred in Alexandria? Did priests working for the library flee to the harbor as the city shook? Did they seal themselves inside the Temple of Serapis to protect its sacred scrolls? What happened to them? Did they survive or did they perish along with their sacred texts? Sadly, we may never know the full story. What we do know is that underwater exploration has revealed many fascinating artifacts, including countless statues, blocks from ancient temples, and even hieroglyphic inscriptions. Together, they paint a picture of a rich and vibrant past, a world where knowledge and culture thrived. The artifacts speak to the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient people who crafted them, as well as the cultural exchange that took place between Greece and Egypt during the Hellenistic period. The statues are particularly striking, capturing the likeness of gods and mortals alike with remarkable detail. Some are weathered and worn, while others are still vibrantly painted. Each one offers a glimpse into the religious beliefs and artistic traditions of the time. But what about the scrolls? Are they still out there waiting to be found? Perhaps one day we will discover a hidden chamber beneath the waves, filled with ancient texts that have remained untouched for centuries. Until then, the search continues, driven by the hope of uncovering what history has tried to erase. This is Whispered Chronicles. If you want to uncover more secrets of the ancient world, stay tuned.